You go up and you would start up the computer. You dial in,
and then your dad would get mad at you.
You'd have to go to your parents and be like, "Can I look it up? Sorry." You know, be like, "Don't be on forever," kind of thing. Okay, but of course, you know, back then you couldn't look up anything without it taking forever. And then you get on there like, "Oh, here it is," and you're like, "Man, that'd been awesome if that was just in the book. That would have been a cool thing." And there's like major ones, dude. Like I remember for the optional boss Ozma, they're like, Ozma has 60,000 HP. To see how to beat it, go to playonline.com. And you're like, seriously? Like, that's like a major thing.
It was awful.
I hate this room.
It was like the only strategy guide I remember having because it was just
Good,
like, that
okay.
bad.
Is there like a pit?
Yeah, there's a pit there, and if you miss it, it takes like a couple minutes to get back.
I guess if you specifically remember having a strategy guide, it either means it's the best thing ever. Like, for instance, I'll always remember FF7's strategy guide, although it's not amazing. I read it like a million times.
You know, it had
There are
four-color
strategy
maps
guides that are
in the
just
back.
factually wrong, like Saga Frontier.
Yeah.
Like, that was just bad.
That's a game that I will eventually be doing a long time from now.
That game is so obscure in literally everything.
I just
Yeah.
wish the guy who wrote it did just make up things.
Yeah, and the thing about that one is it's an RPG. It's best known for being the game that has 7 different main characters with 7 different unique quests.
Nice.
And
I mean, at this point, I have so many energy tanks that it doesn't matter if I get hit.
the thing that's really interesting about the game in general is it's like it was one of those games during the late 90s that Square was in a crunch to have a bunch of games come out, so they had a bunch of stuff that was like dropped out at the last minute.
Kill everything.
So not only did they have that, where maybe the guy who was playing it like had
I'd
like
like to not get hit this much.
a bunch of factually incorrect information, but it has a bunch of stuff that's like not changed. Like the one I always remember, there's this really tough bad guy called the Earth Dragon, and they have it listed in the bestiary. Is that how that word's pronounced? Okay, bestiary as having like 40,000 HP, which is like a lot, but not a whole ton. And like I remember doing it and being like, should be dead. And then like the battle going on for like a half hour after that, where at the end, if you would count it up, he would have like 500,000 instead of like 50,000 or whatever. And you're like, how could you be so wrong? You know?
Misprint.
But like it would happen all the time in the bestiary and the other stuff where you're just like, and that's one of those games where it's so frustrating because the game's super good, but it like only when you know what to do, because otherwise like there are quests you start off and they're like, hey man, go ahead, start your quest, do whatever, and yeah, there's this guy named Loot, so it'll be like, start your quest, and you'll be like, okay, so you walk out of your town and there's a world map hub where you can fly to different places, and there'll be like 20 different places you can go, and you're like, cool.
Loots is so good because you can accidentally wander into your final scenario like 5 minutes.
Oh, I've definitely done that. So that's one of those games where like you forgive it because it's so good for being kind of like, what do I do? So you get the strategy guide, but then the only strategy guide that exists for it is like super wrong in everything, and you're like, okay, I'm really frustrated now.
I mean, that game's just really
Oh,
great,
wow,
but it
well,
also had like
in
a
that
ton
weird
of
obscure
potential,
place.
too.
Yeah, the frustrating, and I'll talk about it when I actually do the game.
It's a little premature.
3 months, 6 months, 1 year from now, whatever. But they even had an 8th character designed, and there are like so many instances in the game, and I'll show you guys when we do it, where you're like, I can totally see that they were going to put this character in. And the character's in the game. The character is a character you can use, but you can see the parts where you're like, this was going to be a main character, you know? And there's other parts where you're like, this person's quest was going to be bigger. And then, of course, I guess it leads to the cool thought of, like, what could this have been? It's already good, but what could it have been? Oh, well.
It's definitely a really unique game. So.
But yeah, strategy guides, man. Especially when they're wrong. Especially back in the day when you couldn't just look it up and be like, nah, dude, I see a guy fighting him on YouTube right now. I know that he has whatever. But just being like, cool. Thanks for making me go online, strategy guide. Really appreciate it.
I like the part where he sticks his head in the wall, the ceiling. Sorry, I meant
Trigger.
That's so messed up.
I'm literally killing myself right now.
Thank you.
That's a trigger.
That's a trigger.
Here's your trigger.
Ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
This one's super obvious too.
Oh, lay a super bomb there, duh. Oh, yeah, it opens up there.
Yep.
Knew it.
Yep.
I was gonna tell Trevor about it already, but then I was like, wow.
And this next part is just
Well,
ridiculous.
this already looks just. This already looks annoying.
I'm gonna be using a lot of super bounds, power bounds.
Here's your slowdown. I don't know why I'm taking his signature
It really.
catchphrase.
Is that his? I've never heard of his catchphrase. Here's your slowdown. He just played a bunch of Super Nintendo games. It's crazy that he's so famous because it's such a specific thing.
Bill Engvall is a famous YouTube Let's Player.
And he plays Gradius 3 all the time, and he's like, here's your slowdown.
Wow, look at all the.
I just want to, like, as part of our YouTube page, I want to create, like, one of those, like, a small mini-series, like, you know, real-life mini-series that is, like, the most specific thing possible. Kind of
I
like
don't
want to
mess up this room. So there's this thing, in between the two middle platforms, they have those automatically disappearing blocks, and I want to get on the very middle. So if I mess this up, I'm going to be kind of mad.
Alright, so we're asking for serious.
Yes! Cool. Now I just have to not... Okay, cool. I did it.
Nice.
Wow.
So if you miss, like, being in the middle, you have to go through that thing twice. And it's just a waste of, like, 5 minutes.
We're all proud of you, Trevor.
I did it.
Dude, you know what I was just reminded of with our half-hearted clapping was watching, like, awesome games done quick and, like, watching the people that are sitting there, like, trying to care, but, you know, they're just sitting there, like, waiting for their turn or just to be, like, a jerk. And then I remember that one guy that just kept talking and the one guy was like, please be quiet.
Yeah.
I forget what game it was, but it was the best thing.
It was Tomba 2.
Right.
I remember that.
Dude,
I don't know why I remember
and
that.
as you can tell from here...
That guy's name is Chibi, the guy that everyone hated, and he has done some crazy stuff recently. Like, he cheated at speedrunning 1,000 Year Door, and he got called out and caught at it. And he was like, oh, okay. I guess I got caught. And another thing is that he drank bleach, and he was like, I guess I'll go to the hospital.
What?
So, wait, so, I mean... The bleach thing is, I guess, is what it is, but I'm more curious about how somebody caught him cheating on
I mean,
Paper
he was
Mario.
getting, like, weird...
Oh.
I tried that!
You tried that? Yeah.
Okay.
Cheated!
That redeems the entire run. I had no input over that at all.
It just didn't. So, like, what? Like, how does it, like, he was streaming, right? And someone was
I don't
like...
know how he cheated 1,000 Year Door. I don't know.
Wait, so there was a guy. Was it a different guy besides the one that was?
No, the guy, Chibi, was the guy that everyone hated that did the Tomba 2 run, and he's just been an idiot ever since.
I thought when he
I'm
first
just
said
super...
that, I thought he was talking about.
I'm, like, super curious, like, how you can do that. Like maybe he, like... Maybe he was, like, emulating it, but, like, set the frame rate too fast. I can't think of, like...
that would be
It's
way
more
too
like
obvious.
criticals or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is the worst boss in the game, and I don't know how to do it fast. But the good news is this segment's almost over. But this boss sucks. I don't know how to do it fast. So he's a ghost, and he's
And then he's not a
invulnerable.
ghost.
And then he opens his eye, and you can only attack him 1 time, and then he does this again. And you have to attack him at least 10 times.
This is like
Okay.
me before I've
Had your morning coffee.
I've done my workout at the gym.
Nice.
Oh.
I don't know,
Okay.
sometimes he opens his eye early like that, but a lot of time he doesn't. And I just don't understand it.
I'm gonna counter that by saying this is me right after I've just had Taco Bell.
You're really this active after you have Taco Bell?
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's my stomach.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
Like the eyes, my stomach. Yeah, you got it. You got it. I don't have to keep going into it. Could you imagine, like, training so much to go to something that, like, you probably pretty enjoyed, like Awesome Games Done Quick, and then having somebody that, like, you just instantly hate, like, talking the entire time, and you're like, dude, I don't want to be the jerk that, like, yells at him for 10,000 or however many people watch it.
A lot.
Like, yeah, 50, 100,000 for people to be like, that jerk. You're trying to focus.
Everyone agreed with him.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Cosmo run.
Oh no, that's weird.
Oh, was there another one that was similar?
Yeah, there's a Cosmo did a Wind Waker run. This guy named Mir just talked over it, and honestly, I didn't really hate him because he was saying things that were interesting, and Cosmo wasn't saying anything. But like everyone was like, "Let's Cosmo speak," and then.
But doesn't Cosmo like not talk a lot?
Yeah, exactly. I don't like Cosmo in the first place.
So I mean, if
I guess I
if
have 2 more hits.
if the guy's talking over him, then yeah. But if Cosmo's just sitting there in silence, like what do you want to watch? Like a silent video? That's stupid.
Well, you see the Wind Waker.
You know, I kind of remember because he was like, and what he's doing here is whatever. I remember that, and I thought it was informative, although the guy was kind of annoying.
I mean, he was talking a lot, and he had kind of an annoying voice, but he was doing more than everyone else. Okay, one more.
Could you explain all the differences in this?
Yeah, so they reworked the physics in general. Oh, one more, sorry. So jumping is a little bit different. Another thing is that you can fire a lot more shots, and they work a little bit better, and they're a little less weird. There's some extra moves that they added that I don't really use too much. The big thing is that the door animations are like 4 times as fast, and just like really, really, really minor stuff like that. Okay, that's dead.
Done.
Was that fun?
Done.
It was a really good boss fight, I think.
Explosions. Oh, see a ghost.
Okay,
I
bye.
said he's a ghost.
I don't even have to tell you what that just was. Y'all should know what that was.
That was me taking a diary.
So this ship is on.
After I've had my
Electricity is
coffee.
on now.
Nice.
Look at the robots.
Oh, the robots. The robots.
Got a couple secrets to do, then we're gonna.
Robot? Whoever said that one before? That's funny.
I don't think that's very mature.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow. You're on thin ice, Brandon.
I know.
Nice.
I always am.
I feel.
That feeling.
I think I'm just going to do that for the second part of this. I'm just going... Instead of just talking over about sometimes interesting things, I'm just going to make up crap about the game. I'll be like, as you can see here, Trevor's going into the Deep Space Nebula and rescuing Princess Daisy.
Oh yeah, I never asked you. How was Nick in general? Was it fun?
Didn't you see the post I made yesterday?
Yep, he posted about it.
Oh,
Okay, I'll read it.
Yeah, I'll also tell you once.
Honestly,
once
your
done with this.
huge 10-paragraph stories I generally don't read.
That's fine. I mean, it's understandable. But that I made one
Right.
I made one very, very specifically about Nick. Nick is a very nice guy.
Did he do anything that was super weird?
No, I don't think so. It was
like the general autism.
it was a very fun time overall, honestly. And seeing Platform Masters was just incredible.
It's magical.
It is literally magical. It is a wonderful game that unfortunately is extremely, extremely far away from being finished. However, what I saw is superb for one person working on it, no matter how much time it takes.
You know,
The attention
sounds like a Daikatana
the attention
for
to
Nick.
But Daikatana sucks.
That's just some people's opinions.
That's just like your opinion, man.
the attention to
How
detail
can
is
people
just
say that
amazing.
Daikatana doesn't suck? Do you think it's
Hey,
good?
you know what? You can suck it down.
Oh.
Ben,
I get it.
Tagline. Daikatana.
Isn't the one like he's gonna kick your ass or something like that?
John Romero's gonna make you his expletive.
His female
Expletive.
Put the kids to bed before I say this word.
We're now CIB after dark.
It's the B word.
Whew!
Oh!
Dude, does anyone remember, speaking of that, like mid-90s, like in mid-90s game magazines, the how crazy some of the things like that were, the advertisements? There's the one I specifically remember, which was just like a jar of eyeballs. It might have been for a Resident Evil game, I kind of forget, but it was like kind of realistic. And it was just like...
I don't know what it was, but I remember seeing it.
And then there was one where it was like the completely naked girl, but like... And like, of course, it's way crazier 20 years ago or whatever, but it's like the completely naked girl who's like barely covered by like 2 N64 games on her boobs or something like that. I specifically remember that one for no particular reason.
Oh my god. Just game magazine advertisements from the 90s.
They were, I mean,
they were incredible.
They were incredible, but like at a certain point, probably after Mortal Kombat got popular,
That's not what I meant to do. I forget
they got
which
like a
platform it
little
is.
bit too edgy
This
for what
one?
it was. Like, I don't know.
No,
It's not that one.
I remember that jar of eyeball one.
No,
being,
I
like,
just mean the
seriously?
jump upwards.
There were some really, really gross ones.
Could I jump upwards,
There you
please?
go.
But this is it.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
It wouldn't let me jump up.
I'm pretty sure there's some sites that are dedicated to like documenting those kinds of advertisements too.
I
think
bet.
I found one a while back, but I didn't like bookmark it or something. Even though I was like browsing it for a while. Oh, this looks fun.
Whoa.
Oh, okay, that was really
Not
easy
too bad.
actually.
It's not too bad.
Just
a
like
lot of
anything
missiles.
with that labyrinthine look to it. I'm just like, this is cool.
Gotta do another super missile. Okay. You actually don't go in that labyrinth at all, unless you're an idiot. Or haven't played the game before.
All right, so here's one. I just found the site that one of them that Ben was talking about. There is one for the original game, the Game Boy Pocket, where there is clearly a woman who is tied up to a bedpost with both her arms tied to it, and she's in lingerie. And some guy in the corner is playing Game Boy, and it says the new Game Boy Pocket, seriously distracting. And it's like that's definitely super implied everything.
Oh, okay.
Game Boy, more fun than a ferret down your trousers.
I think the
Oh,
weirdest.
I remember that one.
I think the weirdest advertisement I've ever seen is Super Mario Strikers for GameCube. It had this one commercial where there's a ball of 2 soccer balls and it just looked like testicles. You should look that one up.
I'll have to check
It's just
that
so
out then.
weird. It's not gross or anything. It's just like, why is that Mario?
Here's another one. Pro Fishing Challenge, I guess for, I don't know, PS1 or something like that. Size does matter. A girl in a bikini taking has a big bass on the end of her line. Cool.
By the way, very excellent secret there. The one where you just had to like wait in the Jojo statues.
Oh,
hands.
okay. Look at this secret.
Obvious.
Are you ready?
Obvious.
This is my favorite secret. Just blow it away.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, love the noises that those robots make.
Here's an actual really good one. It's some kid in his room, and all you see is his hand, and he's holding a Game Boy, and it says, "Just don't smile when they say you're grounded." That's a pretty good one.
I think that's good. It's not like provocative or edgy, so by 90 standards it sucks.
Oh, there's the Gex one where his arms are on the boobs
Was that
of
the one
some
you were
girl.
thinking of with the?
No, I'm still gonna try to find it.
So I got the gravity suit, which lets me freely go in the water,
Yeah.
Nice.
which is pretty fun.
Ooh, for Top Gear for Super Nintendo, shift happens. Oh boy.
You sure have a lot of missiles.
There are 230 missiles in this game, so I have collected more than half of them.
Here is a truly awful one. It's a picture of a can of pork and beans and the game Sunset Riders, and it says, "All you need to be a rootin' tootin' cowboy."
Okay.
Get it?
Tootin' as in it's a fart
I-
joke.
I didn't
I
get it.
didn't get it.
I'm not sure I get it.
Keep it in your pants, and there's a Game Boy Pocket in a guy's butt pocket. The next time you're bored, twiddle your thumbs. Hey.
Some of these aren't bad.
Some of them are bad. Like, there's this one where there's some woman in, like, lingerie, and the guy's playing Super Nintendo instead of paying attention to her, and it says, I remember when he couldn't keep his hands off me. It's like, huh.
That's,
Yes.
it's really
Very.
Like, how did that fly?
I guess you could just get...
It's just different time,
I
man.
specifically remember this one, Trev. It's a Game Boy Pocket one. It's the one with the 6 different colored tongues, and it says,
yeah.
now in 6 different flavors.
That was in like every Archie comic ever.
Yep. Ooh, here's one that would not fly. It is a Native American in full headdress and everything. He's he's playing. He's showing Donkey Kong Land, and it said, "If these aren't the coolest graphics, my name isn't Yawigi Kanawi." I apologize for pronouncing that wrong, but that would
My lord.
I don't think that would be a thing.
I don't...
Oh boy.
Wow.
I bet Nintendo is not really proud.
They probably don't talk about this anymore.
I mean,
Oh my
up
God.
until the GameCube, Nintendo's CEO was a Yakuza boss. So I doubt he cared.
I did not know that.
I had no
I don't know that
idea.
either.
Yeah,
Now the more you know.
Look that up! I forget his name.
Did he die?
He died. No, he just retired.
What about
With
You're
a
not talking
hail
about
of gunfire.
Nintendo of America, are you?
No, it's just Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Like the Japanese side.
So would they,
Yeah.
wouldn't NOA be handling the app? I don't know. I don't really care actually. So.
I mean, NOA has to answer to their bosses. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And Yakuza didn't exist in America, so it's irrelevant. Anyway, this segment's done.
Oh.
I don't know. I saw Red
Yakuza.
Steel. I played Red Steel. Seems to suggest that Yakuza has
You played
has
Red
hands
Steel
everywhere.
too?
No, I did. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Cool.
But I read a plot somewhere.
I did, before Trevor saves, I did find the one. It's a Sega Saturn one, where it's a girl who is completely naked on a bed, except for there are Sega Saturn screenshots covering her. So that's the one I specifically remember.
And
Let's go ahead and say that is the one and only reason the Saturn failed. Just that one.
you know, I want to see me some more Saturn screens.
Yeah, like, most people are like, get that girl off the screen. I want to friggin' see Sega Saturn, man.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, we're done?
Is that...
Sorry.
No, that's cool.
We'll see you guys next time. Trevor did an excellent job.
It was great.
It was okay.
Thank you, Base Dog.
There was a little bit of dog.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Brandon.
Bye.